Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us on the Leading for Wellness podcast, where we bridge the gap between leadership and holistic health. Today, I'm super excited to introduce our guest, Tim Wood, who is the CEO and founder of Fired Up Popcorn. And he's also a full-time fireman at Rancho Santa Fe in San Diego. Welcome, Tim.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. I was fascinated to meet you at one of the San Diego Naturally events, multiple times over the last few months, and just loved your energy and your story and how you started up Fired Up Popcorn. So I'd love you to share a little bit about your journey and how you got started.
Yeah, great. I appreciate it. Yeah, the journey started in the fire station, actually. I was making popcorn quite often, and also it started here in our family as well. Popcorn's always been a nutritious snack in my mind. It's full of dense, complex carbohydrates, full of fiber, and I utilize that for my training, actually, recovery as a snack.
Hmm.
So I was constantly making that popcorn just as a plain popcorn. And then we started adding quality oils. I started learning about pure avocado oil and then the benefits of pure avocado oil. We started learning about turmeric and cayenne pepper and how it's full of antioxidants, anti-inflammatory properties. So we started just messing around with different flavors and different options. And that was about 2 to 3 years ago. And we're also going through a time in our life where we were blending families. And we didn't really have something that really tied our family together as like a unit. And I had about $10,000 left in my bank, and I'm like, what am I going to do with this money? Just keep paying for groceries or buying some new shoes or something, or invest it in a possibility. And I chose to invest it in a possibility to create Fired Up Popcorn and bring healthy snacks to our community. So it kind of started there. It was just like a fun-filled idea to make good snacks at home. And then I also used it for a recovery snack as well. And then we just tried to make quality popcorn and realized that we're actually making the healthiest popcorn, I feel, in the country.
Wow, that's so amazing. I kind
Yeah.
of have goosebumps. That took a lot of guts to say, listen, I've got $10,000 in the bank. Most people would like freak out and say, hey, we need to hoard this or make sure we spend
Mhm.
it on, necessities. And you had the foresight and the courage to say, hey, I'm going to put this into a new business. Tell me a bit about how you just had the conviction. Was it something that came into you in the middle of the night, or how did you find that fire in the belly to say, yep, I'm going to try this?
Yeah, life brings you a lot of challenges and hurdles. And being a firefighter and a first responder, we're constantly going into emergency situations, going into people's homes at their most vulnerable state. Um, and to go through a challenging divorce, losing my friends to suicide. There's so many things that bring us hurdles in our life. But if we don't face more challenges and try new things and be creative, for me personally, I'll always be in this little rut.
Mhm. You kind of die inside, right? If you
You
don't take risks and you don't, extend yourself. Yeah, I love
com-
that.
completely, yeah. And my family is obviously everything, and trying something new as a family, trying something new as a human being, as a person who's just trying to navigate our life. I'm so used to driving the fire engine around and going on emergency calls. So the business world is completely new to me. And I was ready to take on that challenge. And I'm getting my kids out into an environment that they're not familiar with, they're not used to. We're communicating with new people. Talking to my daughter, who's 14, about how much it costs to purchase items. This is what we made today, and she's communicating and she's sharing the vision as well. My son's 16, so I'm trying to incorporate them into the growth of the business as well, and putting them into different positions which will benefit their growth. It's all about community for us, and serving others is our main priority as a family. And I was always taught that at the beginning of my life. My dad was a pastor for over 10 years. My mom taught for 40 years. And we grew up here in Oceanside. I've been here all my life, and they have been here all their life as well. So the generations of our North County, and we're here to serve. So starting a business and joining the community in different ways other than emergencies is huge for me, and it's been a great path for us to learn and grow in different ways.
That's amazing.
So
Incorporating the whole family. I feel like there's so much heart in what you do.
thanks.
I'm sure being a firefighter and a first responder is a tough role. I can't imagine the things you've seen and had to process throughout your career. You said how long have you been doing that now?
About 23 years now.
23
Yeah.
years. Wow, that's a long time. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and I'm
I'm
super
sure,
grateful for it as well.
yeah, grateful too, but I'm sure that, the industry comes with a lot of challenges. And, I think from a mental health perspective, um, this is probably a nice outlet for you to have this
Hmm.
as another passion and to have something to look forward to and have a vision of what you want to create here.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
definitely.
yeah. So tell me a little bit more about, just your career within the firefighter area. And you mentioned also prior to us starting this podcast that you're involved with another organization that you and your wife founded, called Burning Layers, right? And that has another mission. So there's sort of so many aspects to your life right now, and I would love to hear more about that too.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Yeah, we've been pretty busy in our life in good, positive ways, and it's been bringing me so much life. So we have Fired Up, and it's important to stay fired up in life, but we also have Burning Layers, and it's also important to burn down and to stop and rest and reset. So there's that balance between the ignition and the burning down in my viewpoint on wellness and health. Um, so mental and emotional health has been a big part of my life. We've had people in my organization commit suicide. We had another person die on the job a couple of years ago. My friend committed suicide. So mental and emotional wealth and health has been just always on the forefront of my mind, to live with compassion and empathy, to understand that people are struggling in so many different ways. And my perspective had shifted during my career, throughout my career, that, oh, it's great to be a fireman. I got to put on all this gear. I'm going to go and fight fire and I'm going to save the world, right? But in reality, there's sometimes we can't save, we can't help. We try so hard, and then people die right in front of our eyes, and
Mhm.
that's pretty challenging as a human. And then I'm going to go home the next day and kind of open my door and be like, everything's okay. It's really hard to balance that.
I can imagine.
So when we thought about Burning Layers, like, how can we talk about trauma more? How can we talk about mental and emotional health more? And how can we be another resource to give techniques and tools to process our stress? To be open enough to say that I don't feel good today. To be open enough to say, like, hey, honey, I just need 10 minutes to go walk outside. And to give us that just that awareness to slow down a bit, to really recalibrate and reset ourselves. So we created this program to bring those tools and resources to give everybody another idea, another way, another path, another option to support our health. And that's a big passion for ours to do that as well. So we're doing a multiple of things, but hopefully it's all positive. That's our
Yeah.
mission.
It's amazing that, I think when you understand, how you've struggled in the past and how if you have certain tools, and ways to deal with things that could have been, you could have handled it so much differently. And I realized for myself, gosh, I wish I knew now what I, knew in my 20s or 30s, what I know now, and had the tools to process emotion and challenge and, understand how powerful our mental state is in how we manifest in our lives. So I love that you have, extended yourself to that, and your wife as well. It sounds like you guys are in this together.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and what is your vision for Fired Up Popcorn? I'd love to hear more about that, and we'll come back again to Burning Layers. But tell us more about that.
Yeah, our main vision is to bring a quality product, a quality snack to our community. And our greatest vision is to bring that quality snack to arenas and stadiums. It's
Mhm.
time. It's
Yeah.
it's serious. It's seriously time to make our customers a priority, especially at these stadiums, arenas. We're bringing our children there to watch these professional athletes play, and I'm going to serve them cancer-causing products. It's
Yeah.
it's it's time. It's time for that shift, and to bring a product that's nutrient dense, quality, that the fats that we utilize in the oils are quality for our consumption. We're not just trying to make profit. We're not trying to just make money. My job, obviously we want to make money within business, but the margins don't have to be so great. You don't have to get the bottom of the line product to serve to our beautiful community and
consumer to make a profit, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And there's definitely profit still in organic, healthy popcorn. So our vision is to get it, pop it fresh, and have a quality popcorn and a quality snack at these stadiums that are locally here within our county. That is the vision and goal. We love going to the farmers markets. I love going to schools. I love going to the fire station and popping popcorn for a pancake breakfast. I love being out in the community in that sense as well. It's also, there's another space which is in the stores, but it's also a saturated market, and it's overwhelming for me to see other bags of popcorn in there, to be honest, as a growing business. And I don't feel like that's where my passion's at, to be honest. That's not where all my passion is.
Yeah.
Right, is to be another bagged popcorn. I don't think that's my vision. And I think our vision is to pop it fresh and have it a really quality popcorn with purpose. Our popcorn is with purpose, and that's one of our lines, because we put intentional ingredients into it. And we're not just eating it just to fulfill our belly, So if it's in arenas and stadiums, I feel more people will pick that organic popcorn and a quality popcorn for their family and friends, instead of maybe avoiding purchasing popcorn anymore.
Yeah. What is in it? What is in traditional popcorn that you buy at stadiums, compared to what your product has in it? I think most consumers probably don't even know how bad traditional popcorn is.
Yeah, it has a lot of artificial butters, colors, sweeteners in there, oils that are not necessarily good for us. They cause cancer. The corn that they're utilizing is pesticides, most likely, has pesticides sprayed on them. We'll use an organic, non-GMO kernel, and we use pure avocado oil that's high in omega-3s and fatty acids that our body's craving for. Our body craves for fats, and there's many fats out there, but the fats that are in movie theater popcorn, conventional popcorn, are fats that our body actually is trying to reject.
Yeah, and it's, there's so much research around that too. It may taste great, but it's awful for your body, and it'll come back to you in other ways for sure.
Yeah.
So tell me more about you personally. What kind of biohacks or what program do you follow? You're obviously in top physical shape, being fireman, but I mean, what else do you do in order to keep yourself healthy, both physically and mentally?
Yeah, and I wasn't always that this way, going through different fluctuations throughout my life. I enjoy endurance triathlon. I race long distance triathlon. My last Ironman race was last year in Sacramento, and I enjoy meditation and yoga, and I do those for purposeful reasons.
What is that practice like for you? The meditation and yoga, is that a daily? Do you do it in a group or by yourself or with your wife?
Yeah, we do. I definitely do a lot with my wife. And we try and hone in about 30 minutes a day of some sort of wellness activity for ourselves. Could be a meditation. It could be moving our body through a flow. It matters. We're all different, right? So it matters what energy I'm consumed with in the moment. I might need to go for a run. I might need to go for a swim. But we're always staying active. If I don't stay active, we're going to die. I'm going to die mentally, emotionally, and physically. And we know that. So I don't put too much pressure on myself unless I'm have a race coming up, and I'll be pretty regimented. But consistency is key, and always moving our body is key, and always staying positive is key. I do a lot of yoga and meditation or reflection in front of a mirror, and I'll do eye gazing with myself, where I'll connect to my emotional side. I'll connect to my heart. I'll try and bring up what's going on and how can I, make good quality choices. For me, it's all about self-awareness and being understanding of where I'm vibrating. What's my energy? If it's negative, how can I make it positive? If it's stuck, where is it stuck, and where can I make that shift? And that's through just years and years of self-reflection and meditating. And but yeah, I'm here to serve our community, so I better be in good shape, is what I
Yeah.
told myself too. I better be able to perform. I better be able to serve if I'm in service.
Yeah, and
So,
practice what you preach. How long ago did you
mhm,
start your meditation practice, and what type of meditation do you do?
so it was about 4 to 5 years ago, and that was when I was going through a divorce and um, having suicidal thoughts, just really disconnected to myself. I went to Deepak Chopra Center in Carlsbad, Transcendental Meditation. Um, so I practiced with that for a while. I went through SoulWorks training, which is a 200-hour trauma-informed yoga training. Um, and there's in my trainings, I realized that there's two steps to meditation. One is to become aware of our thoughts, and the other one is to get past them. And the reason we want to get past them is so we can connect back to a homeostasis state. So our nervous system can balance and our body can actually function how it's supposed to. But there's
Hmm.
so much stress and so much thoughts that create emotions that actually disrupt our vagus nerve, so we can't really settle and we can't really get into this healing state. Our
Hmm.
cells don't really ever have that time to regenerate or to recalibrate or to recenter, because we're always on the move, we're always on the go. And once I started to settle and once I started to slow down a bit and to see all the disruptions that were in my mind, all the fake thoughts or the path that I was going that was negative, I was able to hone down and really reshape my life and really realize that every step of the way, every movement through the day is meditative. Every movement is purposeful. Every
Hmm.
movement could be loving and supportive. And then my life just started changing. I started feeling good about myself, and now I'm remarried. I have a baby, and I started two new businesses, and I feel more alive than I ever have been. But I'm also tired. We don't have much money, to be honest, right? We're pulled in so many directions, but I feel so alive. So
Yeah,
it's
you feel fulfilled because you're alive, you're taking risks, and
mhm,
you're present. I think that's I think what you're saying is that, obviously meditation, you realize, that my thoughts are running my life, and I'm just autopilot. And then
mhm,
you mentioned getting past your thoughts, and I think that's where the magic starts happening. I think most people get stuck in, oh my gosh, my thoughts are running my life, and
mhm.
that's there. But how do you actually get, or how did you get to that point where you're past your thoughts and you're starting to manifest from a state of presence?
Mhm. Realizing that there was something past my thoughts or past my own mind, past my own understanding. And that was through Deepak Chopra. I think we talked about, I'm sorry, through Joe Dispenza. We talked
Oh yeah.
about him last time. And I have a few books here in my home, and just studying on what is our personality, what am I creating, how can I create something new, and what is our body doing, and what is our neural pathways doing when we meditate. All that
Mhm.
knowledge just brought awareness to myself that I can shift and I can change and I can create. The world's not putting this pressure on me, is what I felt in the moment, going through our struggles that we go through, that there's no way out, right? You're just getting pressed by this energy, but realizing after meditating and learning about ourselves and what's true within all of us, um, that we can create and we can envision and we can make things happen. And once that shift happened, then
To take your
now
power, right?
you took your power, you get your power back. Yeah. And
Yeah, that is.
you're in the same way. I'm in the same boat, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's a journey, right?
Mm-hmm.
And definitely it's a moment to moment thing. And I think when you can get, I think the aim is for all of us to get into that place where we're always in a meditative state. We're always
Mm-hmm.
present, and we look at things that happen to us as opportunities to grow, and not happening against us, but things are happening for us, right?
Definitely.
So, that's definitely a powerful realization when you start, learning that and realize that you do have control about how your life unfolds, and
Mm-hmm.
that if you can get in the highest vibration possible, um, then you're in
It's
your
hard to do though, huh?
most powerful state, right? And starting to become aware of your emotions and how the way you view things affect your emotions and your vibration. That's when the power starts coming back. But
Yeah.
definitely is a journey, I think, for all of us.
Hmm.
So, how do you, obviously you probably use a lot of these concepts in your burning layers work when you go in and you and your wife go in and do the teaching with first responders and people that really can benefit from that, from a mental perspective. How do you see them changing and how do you help people get there? I think
Hmm.
I know that's a long-winded question, but I think you're understanding what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, and actually, I was talking to Nicole about that yesterday. It's like, what is our purpose and what is our mission? Our goal is just to share information. I have to approach my own group of people really humbly. I'm not here to change anybody's life. I'm not here to tell you how to be or
Great.
tell you what to do, right? And these are just tools and techniques. And if we can learn about our body and learn about our mind and learn about our nervous system, then we can understand why we're doing the things we're doing or why we're meditating or why should I even practice? What's the purpose of practicing? So so we have a training where it's about an hour and a half, just instructional. We learn about our body and our nervous system, the vagus nerve, and what parts of our body we're trying to influence to regulate. And then the practice comes in after that, and we teach breath techniques. We teach moving our body and why we move in certain ways. We talk about the psoas muscle, which is the largest muscle within our body and it holds all of our emotions, and why to move that
I
and
didn't
why to
know that.
release that.
Psoas
Yeah,
muscle holds all of our emotions. No wonder I
it,
have
it
psoas muscles.
exactly. It holds the majority of them right in our core, and it goes from our thoracic cage, it goes through our hips and attaches to our quad. And it actually pushes in. Have you ever just noticed you're hunching down, or
Yeah.
if you're bummed, you're just,
Yeah.
right? So in our philosophy of yoga, we're moving our hips mostly, especially for men as well. Um, a lot of energy is stored just within our hips. So if we practice on moving certain ways from our hips out and meditating from the top down, we can connect right to our heart.
To your heart.
Yeah.
Wow, it's
So,
amazing. That's information that I didn't know. And I'm becoming more and more aware of how important that heart energy is and that,
mhm.
so often we're stuck in our heads and what you're saying is stuck in our hips as well.
Yeah,
Really the aura power lies in our heart because that's where we expand and we can create a bigger aura and we can connect with the universe and other hearts around us, So,
totally. And that's where all the blood flow is. It's always traveling through our heart, and our blood has all of our energy. And the energy is moving from our toes to our head, from our fingers. And if there's negative energy everywhere, it's coming here too. We're gonna actually feel that within our chest and within our emotions, or a broken heart, or losing a loved one, all of that. And
Mhm.
it's almost, and that's where the burning layers comes in, because all these layers are just covering our heart, right? Layers
Wow.
of the mind are just covering what we don't know because we forgot or we were broken, so we're shielding, right? I
Mhm.
went through a divorce, so I went like this for a while within my heart and wouldn't be open enough to trust somebody else. But you have to burn past some layers, and there's emotions that are stuck within us from trauma, childhood trauma I
Mhm.
see at work, trauma that's happened to me anywhere. It's all held on to me if I don't have the proper resources to let it go or to release it or to
Mhm.
be vulnerable enough to open back up. And once we open our heart, we're done. We're
Magic,
alive again. Magic
magic.
happens. We're alive again. We're going to connect. We're going to be open. And then, yeah, you can get more into the flow state. But I'm human. There's all kinds of layers that are always covering me. But the
Yeah,
awareness is what opens them back up.
I love that.
So
Yeah, they say if you're alive, you still have layers to go through, right?
always, yeah, always.
We're never done. We're never
Yep,
done. It's part of the human experience, I think.
totally.
That's truly amazing. You're in a unique position where you've obviously seen a lot of trauma through being a firefighter for the last 23 years.
Hmm.
And I think you can probably see real life, when people do have a lot of stored, stuck, emotional, negative, stuff in their bodies, how that affects their health and how they act, etc. I don't know if there's anything particular around that you can share, but I truly believe that, our thoughts affect our bodies and what we create in our lives. And, I don't know if you have any examples or things that you can say, yep, I can see the pattern, in some of the trauma that I've seen maybe that's too much of an esoterical question, but I wanted to throw it
Well,
out there.
yeah, I like it. I love it. I love it. Because we're all one, right? We're all a community. Say we're just San Diego. We're the San Diego community. Let's just say suffering's within all of us, and we
Hmm.
see it every single day, right? The suffering's within everybody. It could be a road rage. It could be not saying hi to the person at the grocery store. It could be just looking down all day. These are all layers, and these are all due to trauma. They're due to
Hmm.
uncertainty. They're due to being overwhelmed. They're due to be my relationship's bad. I don't have the finances. These are all traumatic events for somebody. It's not for us to judge what they are. Within our teaching, we talk about a trauma sensitive lens. How do we look at the entire world in humanity and love, in compassion and understanding that I have no idea your past. I have no idea your childhood. I have no idea what's going on in your life. So how would I ever treat you bad today?
That's so beautiful.
Right?
Yeah.
Or it could be I'm judging and then
Have
we're
compassion.
treating.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And if you can live off that, but there's trauma within everybody, right? There's trauma everywhere, and we see it. And this just the self awareness and loving people, and maybe giving somebody a hug can change their life, or saying hi to somebody. It's like the
Well,
ripple effect. These small little actions, right? So
yeah, yeah,
I don't know if I'm
absolutely.
going off on a tangent.
No,
Sorry.
no, I love it. This
Okay.
is totally, what I love to talk about. And,
Hmm.
I think the misconception often is that, only veterans have PTSD, or only people that grew up in a, orphanage, or, really bad abusive childhood have PTSD. But I think the fact is we all have some sort of trauma, fractures within ourselves, whether it's coming from childhood or it happened later in life. And I think even
Hmm.
COVID, I think a lot of people suffer from some PTSD from COVID because we all process that so differently, right? And things happened and fears came up. So I think
Totally.
we all can benefit from what you're saying. It's not just people that
Hmm.
are, have, so to speak, identifiable trauma or experiences.
Yeah, that's what I like to just call that the cultural wound that we all carry now.
Hmm.
It's nobody's fault. It's just the culture that we live in. My children are very distracted now compared to when we grew up, right? They have the
Hmm.
phones and they don't have that, I guess, that fire to like go outside and jump on their bikes like I used to, and it's creating what they're seeing on technology is creating wounds within them. I know that we see stuff that like triggers us, and it does create a wound, and these are all wounds that we're carrying as a culture and a society, and then we start seeing it in our country, like mass shootings or yeah, just things that develop over time based on just the culture and what's norm now, you
Yeah.
know. So we're all carrying that some wounds from just growing up and where we do,
Yeah, absolutely.
unfortunately. Yeah.
So, I think the what I love about your life is that obviously you were there 4 or 5 years ago. You were in a traumatic situation, going through a tough divorce. I'm sure
Hmm.
work was not easy during that
Hmm.
time. COVID, I'm sure, was a difficult time to be a fireman as well, and all the nuances that went with that. And here you are 5 years later. You're in a brand new family, happy. You've started two new businesses, and you're giving back to society with burning layers and fired up popcorn and what you do on a daily basis. Very inspirational, and want to commend you
Thanks.
for how you've turned your life around. If you had to say to somebody right now that's in a tough place, whether it's financially or health wise or just going through a personal relationship struggle, what do you think are the, say, five key things that you did in order to move from that place to a more positive, higher vibration?
Hmm. Yeah, I feel like it's easy, like when you're stuck in a bad spot, to kind of hide and put yourself in your house and close the door. I did
Mm-hmm.
that for a long time, and there's a lot of people out there that were trying to reach out, And if people are reaching out to you, let them reach out to you, and maybe open up to what people are there to support you, friends or family. So if you are struggling and there's people there that are trying to support you, maybe just open the door a little bit and let somebody in, so you're not so alone. Things can always get better. Things are always changing. There is nothing permanent in this world. There's always a shift. There's always a change in thought. There's always a change in an idea. Move your body. You got to move your body. You have to move your emotions. You have to get outside and see the sunlight to find gratitude in the day. And meditate. Listen to your heartbeat. Feel your heartbeat. Realize that you actually are alive and you are empowered. You have a gift inside you. There's something within you that you just don't see yet. You're just not sure it's there yet.
If you didn't have that, right?
And we all have purpose. We all have meaning. Everybody's different. We all have something to shine through. There's something within us that wants to shine. But if you're in a bad space, it's just covered with all these layers. And the layers just need to be found. And it's usually we know what the issue is, but we're scared to face it. Yeah. I knew I was in a bad relationship, and I was scared to face it for years. And I was just suppressed and struggling until I had the courage to make new choices and make new decisions for my life. And it's hard to do if you're just covered in layers and you're not living with your heart or your truth. Yeah. So, yeah, there are people struggling right now. I know it's 100%. It's all around us. It hurts my heart to know that and to realize, like, sometimes you can't do anything, or people will be so closed off that they won't share that with you. Yeah. But we have to move our emotions. We have to move the emotions that are stored within us, find clarity, and utilize your friends and utilize resources. There's so many resources out there. And if you feel you can call me. I'm happy to speak with you, to go for a run, to not talk about anything other than
just being present.
Being present and being with somebody. Sometimes that's all we really need, is just to reconnect that we're alive and we're not alone.
Yeah. And I think a really important thing too is having a little self-compassion. I think that's, feeling your hurt and going into some of the pain and sadness and so forth, because so often people diffuse or try to block any negative emotion that you have. And oftentimes if you just allow it to come up and actually look at it, it's not as scary as you thought it was from the outside, right? And it often dissipates really quickly. So this takes a little bit of courage to say, I'm going to go and I'm actually going to feel what I'm scared of feeling. And often that releases a layer by itself. So definitely. I love that. So, I would love to have you share where people can find your popcorn, and if they're interested in learning more about burning layers, where they can contact you. So what is the best way to connect with Tim?
Yeah, if you want to eat fresh organic popcorn every week, we were at the Vista Farmers Market up here in North County, Vista. We have an online store as well. So we'll serve you, or we'll deliver popcorn to you fresh to your house. And through Burning Layers, we both have a website. So fired-up-popcorn.com or burninglayers.com. We'll have all of our contacts in there. And yeah, we're here to provide a quality product to our community. Yeah. And then, support our first responders with the emotional processing.
That's amazing. Tim, you're doing some amazing work, and super grateful that you made time to chat with me today. I can't wait to see what else you're going to accomplish and how you're going to grow both of your ventures. And, thank you from everyone for your service and being a fireman for the last 23 years. We really, really appreciate your work.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that. Thanks for having me. It's nice
You're
to see
welcome.
you.
And I look forward to seeing you at more events in San Diego, and hopefully someone will listen to this podcast and say, hey, I want to have this fired up amazing popcorn at my next event or my next corporate party or something like that. So please don't hesitate to reach out to Tim for that.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks so much, Tim. I really appreciate you being on today.
You're welcome.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Yeah, you too. Bye.